is a paradigm that is behind us. That is my strong impression. I remember when I came in 2005 to Pretoria and Cape Town as ambassador for the European Union delegation to South Africa, that Javier Solana paid a visit. He was then the Secretary General and High Representative of the Council, a position that has been transformed with the entry into force of the Lisbon Treaty and that is now filled to some extent by the High Representative and Vice President Baroness Catherine Ashton. One of the first questions that Javier Solana was asked, "Are you going to speak to us, sir?" And he said, "No, that time is behind us." And I think it's important to realize that these summits, we have also, that these summits are really about listening to one another. And I must say, one of the things that I think we as Europeans have taken time to digest is that we must listen and we must show respect. And those are two very basic capacities that I feel that we have not always demonstrated. And it's interesting because I find that in our people-to-people contacts, when we meet a cabinet secretary or when we meet the deputy president or so forth, we of course speak with one another and not to one another. But occasionally you get the impression when we look at how are we going to spend our funding, that there are still preconceived ideas. And I said, hold on, just realize that the priority of seeing how we are going to spend our funding is with the host country. Or if it is the African Union, with the host institution. It could be the Pan-African Parliament in Midrand, could be the peace and security architecture of the African Union, and things like that. So I think it's a very sensitive issue, and I think it's one that we have actually moved behind. And I remember the discussions we held, for example, in early December when Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury, Henry Rotich, paid a visit to Brussels to talk exactly about these areas of intervention in Kenya in particular that we were talking about. But it's an important paradigm and it's an important one for us to keep in mind. It's very challenging to have a meeting with some 90 heads of state and government who all expect to bring at least a team of 10 people, and that makes for 900. And I think that's going to be next to impossible. But we'll see how things are going to go in early April. I'm quite confident that we'll have a good summit with a substantive outcome. There will be, the areas that Christophe de Vroij has outlined are pretty much the same areas we will be talking about. And there will be a declaration adopted, and there will probably also a document that will be looking forward, more in the line of an action plan or what is the way forward to our next summit, which will again be held in one of the African countries. I hope that...
Question, and just request. My name is Dorcas, so I'm here at ETN. I have two questions. Big cycle. Probably just to change the narrative, it has been viewed whenever